It's Bear Essentials with Bear Buyers. We're back with a weekly vendor for Cassie Mendoza. And the first thing she has is a artist tool. Now the good thing about this, it is max rifle damage. Perfect rifleman. Pretty good damage. 244 for this uh, pretty nifty rifle. Not bad. Uh, Fairly fast speed for a rifle. Might be worth checking out. Critical hit damage and damage out of target. Definitely something you'd want to max out if you wanted to play around with this. In fact, I'll tell you what. Don't have enough space. I'll make space and buy one of those myself. So China Light here, I would roll the explosive resistance off for damage, skill damage, and this would be perfect. This would be a very good one. This is perfect shock and all, and it comes with maxed out skill haste. So these are definitely, if there's something that you want to build around these two, and there are builds out there for them, these are good things to buy. Splinter, shield splinter, again, if it's your first time, maybe you just completed your mask and you're able to look at these or get these. There's been worse, and a few times there's been a few that's been better. Same thing with the Hunter Killer. There's been better. At least it's crit chance. You could possibly roll maybe crit damage on this and have maybe a pretty decent thing, or you could maybe even make it weapons. Go with an all red build, but a lot of people, especially if they're PvP, have been using the blue builds to give themselves some more tankiness. Now, again, if you had 3 Golem gear here, you'd have the armor regen and the 5% armor on top of all the armor. And perfect intimidate for a real good weapon you're running, and if everything else is in the red range, high crit, high headshot damage, 40% weapon damage for having bonus armor, pretty good. Eclipse Protocol, I usually just like crafting that when I need it. Now, this ongoing directive, the headshot is pretty high, and the weapon damage you could just craft out if you were okay with the weapon damage being on there, or you could. It's definitely a doable thing. Future Initiative, again, one of those ones you can craft this very easy. Striker's battle gear, you're going to roll off that health, and the weapon strength ain't that great. Same thing here with the aces and eights. You could craft this just as easy once you have all the stuff. I would roll off the weapon handling to headshot damage, but then you'd have a lot to optimize for the weapon damage, so I'd probably pass on that too. Future Initiative, you want your healer build to be working on repair skills, not crit damage per se. And your weapons, that's pretty decent. Stub nose is one of the harder hitting ones, and Future Perfect on a weapon. Pistol, that's possibly worth picking up if you have a slot open for a good pistol. It's not a bad pistol. You might change the mag size to, out of cover damage, something like that. No. Yeah, not a big fan of Douglas and Harding, and if I do, and I was doing a pistol build, yeah, pistol build, 20% damage, great, but come on. Uh, there's a lot of other ones that I would want to use. I'd probably want to use the the mask, that's given me another 20% headshot damage. And that's it. That's what Cassie Mendoza is offering today. I want you to check her out. Now, I found my snitch right here under the Roosevelt Bridge, hanging out. I usually check right over here's my first place. I go out this Foggy Bottom safe house named Truman, and then I go across the street back here behind. There's Outcast box behind a lock. You go around this truck that's right here, and sometimes I usually find him right here. And then the second place I usually look for me is underneath this bridge. Well, I ran into some trouble over there, and I found out the guy backing me up was actually the snitch. So once we handled all the NPCs, he was like, hey. So I walked up to him and it was like, do you accept this bounty? Good. And because I've cleared the bounty many times before, I didn't have to go to the bounty to come here to Cassie Mendoza. Now she's down in a gutter if you don't know where this is. This is a sewer. There's some artwork on the other side of the fence here. Just north of where I usually find the snitch. So what you do is you come down this hallway. The Truman Safe House is right across the street that way. The Navy Yard is right up there. And of course, you got some stuff that usually going on down there. Just kind of show you where you are. You're right in here, but you head into this building right up here. When you come up this alley, you cut up here by this security place, and then you cut in here. Now, if I remember right, this is kind of up here by Navy Hill. It's a little different than I remember. Of course, the Navy Yard is right next door, but this area was... I moved some equipment when I worked for E.I. Kane Office Movers. If anybody from Baltimore or D.C. knows who I'm talking about, give a shout out down there in the description below. But I moved some printing presses and stuff out of this building out to trucks, and they moved them to wherever one of the CIA facilities were, and we got paid, $9 an hour to do that kind of stuff in the 80s and 90s. It was a good side hustle. The good thing is, if I didn't want to work for 6 months, I told Steve I didn't want to work. And then if I wanted to work every weekend, there was, some office, some lawyer, some CIA building that needed moved. And of course, they liked us military guys to do it, because if something got opened that, by accident it dropped and it was, say something of sensitive information, then they would read us the Riot Act, and we'd have our security clearances threatened if we said anything or something like that. But none of that ever happened. I think the worst thing that ever happened was I walked into Admiral Casey's office and everything was still not packed up, and I was like, hey, what's up with this office? And we're like, get out of that office, that's the reason why everybody's moving out of here. Oh, I looked at the nameplate. Now, for those who don't know, being a child of the 80s, General Casey had died of, I think he died of a heart attack, but he was head of the NSA. He was Oliver North's boss. So he kind of took the fall for the Iran-Contra, because he was already dead, and they kind of served him up as the martyr, And basically everybody said that Reagan basically gave them the green light to do what they wanted to do, but didn't necessarily know what they were doing. So he put them in charge to do what they were supposed to do, and they did what they were supposed to do, and it's on them. Reagan didn't really know the details or know what was going on, according to everybody. So that was kind of the Iran-Contra in a nutshell. So, there you go. Anyway, sorry about the tips and trivia. I might even edit that out. But Cassie Mendoza, this is Bear Essentials. I'm Bear Buyers. Hope you have a blessed day, and I'll see you.